The city bus depot was a chaotic symphony of horns, diesel fumes, and hurried footsteps. But in the heart of the crowd, a little girl's silent plea was about to unleash a storm no one saw coming. 9-year-old Lila, her braid fraying under a faded cap, clutched a worn backpack as a man in a crisp suit dragged her toward a departing bus. His grip was iron, his smile a mask. She was drowning in fear, but her mother's words echoed in her mind. "If you're ever trapped, Lila, use the signal. Someone will see." And then, with a trembling hand, she flashed it. A quick, deliberate wave like a flickering light in the dark. Across the depot, a German shepherd named Titan froze, his ears snapping up. His handler, Officer Elena Torres, felt the shift. "What is it, boy?" she whispered. Titan's low growl answered. This wasn't just a routine patrol. This was the moment a child's courage and a dog's instinct would unravel a chilling secret hidden in plain sight. The depot was a concrete jungle, a sprawling maze of buses and bleary-eyed travelers under a gray Chicago sky. It was 7:45 a.m., peak rush hour, and the air buzzed with the urgency of commuters racing to work. Elena Torres, a 10-year veteran of the transit police, stood near the main ticket counter, her dark eyes scanning the crowd. At her side, Titan, a sleek black and tan K9, sat alert, his nose twitching at the scents swirling around them: coffee, sweat, and the sharp tang of fear. They'd been partners for 4 years, a bond forged through late-night patrols and moments of heart-stopping danger. Titan wasn't just a dog, he was her second set of eyes, her gut instinct made flesh. Today, though, something felt off. The depot was too loud, too frenetic, like a storm about to break. Lila's small frame was nearly swallowed by the crowd. The man, who called himself Mr. Carver, held her wrist so tightly it burned. His suit was tailored, his watch gleamed, but his eyes were cold, darting nervously. "Keep up, Lila," he snapped, his voice low but sharp. "We're late for the bus." Lila's sneakers scuffed the grimy floor as she struggled to match his pace. Her mother, Carla, a night shift cleaner at a downtown hotel, had sent her with Carver that morning. "He's my supervisor, sweetheart," Carla had said, exhausted after a double shift. "He's taking you to the science fair. I'll meet you there after work." But the science fair was downtown, not a bus depot headed for Milwaukee. Lila's stomach twisted. This was wrong. Carla had raised Lila alone in a cramped apartment, scraping by on her cleaner's wages. She was a quiet woman, her hands rough from bleach, but her love for Lila was fierce. Last year, after a break-in at their building, Carla had taught Lila a signal, a quick, 3-part hand wave, like signaling a friend across a playground, but deliberate, rhythmic. "It's our code, Lila," she'd said, her voice firm. "If you're scared and can't speak, you flash it. Someone will notice. Someone good." Lila hadn't understood then. But now, with Carver's fingers bruising her wrist, the memory was her lifeline. Titan's head tilted, his amber eyes locking onto something in the crowd. Elena felt the leash tighten. "Easy, boy," she murmured, but her pulse quickened. Titan wasn't trained for drugs or explosives. He was a behavioral specialist, attuned to human distress. His nose caught the chemical spike of fear, but his eyes were on Lila's hand. There it was again, a flash, 3 quick waves, then a pause, then 3 more. It wasn't random. It was a pattern, desperate and deliberate. Elena's gaze followed Titan's. She saw the girl, small and pale, her cap pulled low, and the man pulling her toward a Milwaukee-bound bus. His pace was too fast, his grip too tight. "Let's go," Elena said, her voice low. Titan was already moving. Carver's plan was unraveling. He wasn't who he claimed to be. His real name was Daniel Holt, a man with a past buried under fake IDs and a charming smile. He wasn't Carla's supervisor. He was a guest at the hotel where she worked, a man who'd watched Lila for weeks, noting her routines, her mother's long hours. Holt wasn't after ransom. His motive was darker, rooted in a twisted obsession. He'd lost his own daughter years ago in a custody battle, and Lila, with her bright eyes and quiet laugh, had become his fixation, a chance to rewrite his past. He'd spent months gaining Carla's trust, offering to help with errands, even paying for Lila's science fair project. Today, he'd lied about the fair's location, banking on Carla's exhaustion to slip away with Lila unnoticed. Lila's heart pounded as they neared the bus. The driver was checking tickets, the engine rumbling. She glanced around, her eyes wide with panic. No one noticed her. The crowd was a blur of distracted faces, businessmen on phones, students with earbuds, a mother scolding her toddler. Then she saw him, a massive dog, his fur gleaming under the depot's fluorescent lights, staring right at her. Beside him was a woman in a police uniform, her face sharp with focus. Lila's breath hitched. She flashed the signal again, her hand trembling against her thigh. "Please see me." Titan let out a sharp low bark, a sound Elena knew meant urgency. "Okay, partner," she said, weaving through the crowd. Her radio crackled, but she ignored it, her eyes on the man and girl. Holt was steps from the bus door, his hand still clamped on Lila's wrist. Elena's training kicked in. Years of reading body language, spotting lies in a glance. The man's posture screamed control, not care. The girl's face wasn't just scared. It was a silent scream. "Excuse me, sir," Elena called, her voice calm but firm. "Can you stop for a moment?" Holt froze, his smile faltering. He turned, pulling Lila closer, using her as a shield. "Officer, we're late for our bus," he said, his voice smooth but strained. "Family trip." Lila's eyes met Elena's, wide and pleading. She flashed the signal again, her small hand barely moving. Titan's growl deepened, his body rigid. Elena's heart raced. She'd seen Titan react to fear before, but this was different. He was locked on the girl's hand, as if the gesture itself was a cry for help. "Is that your daughter?" Elena asked, stepping closer. Her hand rested lightly on her holster, non-threatening but ready. Titan moved with her, his eyes never leaving Lila. "Yes, of course," Holt said, his smile tightening. "Lila, tell the officer we're fine." Lila's mouth opened, but no sound came. Her free hand flashed again, 3 quick waves. Titan lunged forward, not aggressive but insistent, planting himself between Holt and the bus door. The crowd around them slowed, heads turning. A hush fell over the nearby commuters. Elena's mind raced. The girl's gesture wasn't random. It was a code. She didn't know its origin, but Titan did. His training included recognizing patterns, unusual behaviors that signaled distress. This wasn't in the manual, but his instincts were screaming. "Sir, I need you to let go of the child," Elena said, her voice steel. Holt's grip tightened, his knuckles white. "This is ridiculous. She's my daughter. We're leaving." He took a step toward the bus, but Titan barked, sharp and loud, freezing him in place. The driver paused, ticket scanner in hand, sensing trouble. Across the city, Carla was scrubbing a hotel bathroom, her hands raw from bleach. Her phone was in her locker, silenced during her shift. She had no idea her daughter was 20 miles away, fighting for her life with a silent signal. But something felt wrong. Lila had been excited about the science fair, clutching her volcano model that morning. Why hadn't she taken it? Carla dropped her sponge, a cold dread washing over her. She ran to her locker, fumbling with her phone. 3 missed calls from a number she didn't know. A voicemail. Her hands shook as she played it. "Ms. Torres, this is Mr. Carver's assistant. The science fair's location changed to Milwaukee. He's taken Lila there. Call back if you have questions." The voice was clipped, unfamiliar. Carla's blood ran cold. Milwaukee? That wasn't right. Back at the depot, Holt's composure cracked. "You're scaring her," he snapped, his voice rising. Lila's eyes were locked on Titan, tears brimming. She flashed the signal again, faster now, desperate. Elena saw it clearly. 3 waves, a pause, 3 more. "Sir, step away from the child," she said, her tone leaving no room for argument. The crowd was now a semicircle, phones out, filming. Holt's eyes darted, calculating. He shoved Lila toward the bus door, trying to bolt with her. But Titan was faster. The dog leaped, not biting but body blocking, pinning Holt against the bus's side. Lila stumbled free, collapsing onto the pavement. Elena was on Holt in seconds, her knee in his back, cuffs clicking into place. "You're under arrest," she said, her voice steady despite her pounding heart. Titan stood over Lila, his body a shield, his low whine a sound of comfort. Lila sobbed, her small hands clutching his fur. "It's okay, sweetheart," Elena said, kneeling beside her. "What's your name?" "Lila," the girl whispered, her voice raw. "Lila Torres." "He's not my dad," the crowd gasped, murmurs rippling. Elena's radio crackled. "K9 Torres, back up en route. Suspect in custody?" "Affirmative," Elena replied. "Child is safe." But the story wasn't over. As Elena helped Lila to her feet, a man in a janitor's uniform pushed through the crowd, his face pale with panic. "Lila!" he shouted. It was Mateo, Carla's brother, who'd been working nearby and heard about a police dog incident on his break. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he'd taught Lila the hand signal alongside Carla, a precaution from his days as a security guard. "That's my uncle!" Lila cried, running to him. Mateo hugged her tightly, tears streaming. "Where's your mom, Lila?" he asked. "She's at work," Lila said. Mr. Carver said it was for the science fair, but he lied. Elena's jaw tightened. She radioed dispatch. "I need a trace on a Carla Torres, works at the Grandview Hotel. Possible abduction attempt on her daughter." As backup arrived, taking Holt away, Elena pieced it together. Holt's lies, his fake identity, his obsession, it was a calculated plan. But Lila's signal and Titan's instincts had shattered it. The depot was frozen, commuters staring, some clapping, others filming the girl and the dog who'd stopped a crime in its tracks. At the Grandview Hotel, Carla's world collapsed. The voicemail wasn't from Carver's assistant. There was no assistant. She called 911, her voice breaking. "My daughter Lila, she's 9. My boss took her to a bus depot, not the science fair. Please, find her!" The dispatcher's response was a lifeline. "Ma'am, we have her. She's safe at the Chicago bus depot with transit police." A K-9 unit intervened. Carla dropped the phone, sobbing. She had no car, but Mateo had called her minutes earlier, saying he was with Lila. She grabbed her coat and ran for the nearest train. In the depot's small security office, Lila sat wrapped in a blanket, Titan at her feet. His head rested on her lap, his warmth grounding her. Elena sat across from her, gentle but focused. "Lila, that signal you did, the hand wave. Who taught you that?" Lila's voice was small but clear. "My mom and Uncle Mateo. They said if I was ever in trouble and couldn't talk, to do it. 3 waves, then 3 more. They said someone would see." Elena nodded, a lump in her throat. "Someone did. Titan saw you." Lila's hand rested on the dog's head. "He's a good boy," she whispered. Titan's tail thumped. Mateo filled in gaps, his voice shaking with rage. Carla trusted this guy. He was always at the hotel, tipping big, asking about Lila's school projects. "We thought he was just nice." Elena's eyes narrowed. "He's not nice. He's in custody, and we'll find out who he really is." Her radio crackled again. "Torres, suspect's ID is fake. Real name's Daniel Holt. History of stalking, restraining orders from an ex-wife. No record of violence, but he's got a daughter who passed away 5 years ago. Looks like he fixated on the girl." The revelation hit like a punch. Holt wasn't a random predator. He was a man broken by loss, trying to replace his daughter with Lila. Elena looked at the girl, now sipping water Mateo had given her. She was tough but so small. "You're safe now," Elena said. Lila nodded, her fingers tracing Titan's ears. "He knew," she said. "He saw me when no one else did." Carla arrived an hour later, breathless and tear-streaked. The depot was quieter now, the morning rush fading. She burst into the security office, dropping to her knees as Lila ran to her. "Mom!" Lila cried, her voice muffled in Carla's arms. "I did the signal and Titan saw." Carla held her daughter, sobbing. "You're okay, baby. You're okay." She looked at Elena, then Titan, her eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you. I don't know how." Elena shook her head. "Your daughter's the hero. And Titan, they did the hard part." But there was one final twist. As Elena prepared to leave, a detective arrived with Holt's belongings, a wallet, a phone, and a small notebook. Inside the notebook were photos of Lila, taken over months, at school, the park, the hotel. But one photo stood out, a grainy image of Carla, unaware, cleaning a hotel room. Scrawled beneath it, "She doesn't deserve her." Elena's blood ran cold. Holt hadn't just wanted Lila. He'd planned to erase Carla entirely, blaming her for his imagined failure as a father. The detective confirmed. "We found a hotel key in his pocket. He was going back for her tonight." Carla paled, clutching Lila tighter. Mateo's fists clenched. "He was in their lives for months," he said. "We never saw it." Elena knelt beside Lila. "You stopped him, Lila. Your signal saved you and it saved your mom." Lila looked at Titan, who let out a soft woof, as if agreeing. A tiny smile broke through her tears. "Can I pet him?" she asked. Elena nodded. "He'd love that." Lila's small hands buried in Titan's fur, and for the first time she laughed, a small, bright sound that cut through the room's tension. The depot resumed its rhythm, buses pulling away, commuters oblivious to the drama that had unfolded. Elena and Titan walked back to their patrol car, the city's pulse steady around them. She looked at her partner, his ears alert, his eyes calm. "You heard her, didn't you?" she murmured, when she couldn't make a sound. Titan's tail thumped once, his gaze steady. Elena scratched his head, her heart full. The world was loud, chaotic. But today, a little girl's silent signal had pierced through, and a dog had answered. Carla and Lila went home that evening, Mateo driving them in his beat-up sedan. The apartment was small, cluttered with Lila's science fair ribbons and Carla's cleaning supplies. But it was safe. Lila slept with her volcano model beside her bed, a reminder of the day she'd outsmarted a monster. Carla sat up late, watching her daughter breathe, her phone now filled with texts from Mateo. "We're getting a security system. No one gets near her again." Carla nodded to herself, her hands still trembling. She'd trusted the wrong person, but Lila hadn't. Lila had remembered the signal, and Titan had seen it. Back at the station, Elena filed her report, the notebook's photos haunting her. Holt was in a cell, his lies exposed, his plans shattered by a child and a dog. She looked at Titan, curled up by her desk, dreaming of the depot. "Good boy," she whispered. "Good soldier." The city kept moving. But for one day, in the chaos of a bus depot, a little girl's courage and a canine's heart had stopped time.